How we doing, ladies and gentlemen, over on the YouTube side of things? My name is Wolf, and today is going to be a very, 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 long-awaited video. Let's put it that way. I have played an absurd amount of Fellowship. I'm just gonna put this on screen just for you, just to see. Over here, you'll see that I have played a nice little 485 hours of Fellowship. I started a guild called the Fellow Shillers, which wound up being more of a Discord server because they didn't want to add guilds. So I had to go and do it myself because they didn't want to add it. They then said they were going to add communities for Season 2. They did not launch communities with Season 2. They talked it up. They did not put it in. Don't you hate it when men do that? Anyways, as a result, this video is going to be my thoughts on Fellowship after 500 hours. I'm going to recap the entire experience and tell you why after 500 hours, these dumb fucks deserve what they get. I fully expect this video to be hated by people who are die-hard defenders. But my friend, my brother in Christ, I was the die-hard defender, and I cannot defend the incomprehensible dumb fuckery these people are capable of. Shall we begin? Let's go. Fellowship, in Season 1, killed 49 million people. Sit with that, just for a second. This game was supposed to be a casual experience. I played Fellowship in the Steam Next Fest last year. It is Steam Next Fest again. It has been a whole year since the first version of this game that I played and I fell in love with. That version of the game no longer exists. You used to be able to pick any dungeon on any key at any amount and play it from there. They then changed that system and they made the open beta, which added the league system, which now makes it so you have multiple different queues separating the population. Their previous problem was that the different dungeons on different tiers were also separating the population. So instead, they decided to separate people by this set of tiers. So, naturally, with the end game here being eternal, you would think your goal is to progress this way. Now, Eternal did not exist when this game first existed. When I first played it, this was a mode called Mercenaries. And what that allowed you to do was you would finish the Paragon system, and then you would go back and you would go and help people. And you would get rewarded for going back and helping people throughout this system, which was meant to encourage wholesome community interaction. That was removed because we should go fuck ourselves, obviously. So, instead of creating a system that allows people to go backwards to help newer players, instead we created a system that incentivizes toxicity and with no penalties to make it worse and worse and worse. I'll explain why as this goes on. This could be a half-hour crash out. This could be an hour-long crash out because I care. I put this game on my main channel. This is currently a side channel called The Wolfian Experience. My main channel has over 12,000 subscribers, and I got Fellowship over 500,000 views and eyes. I tried to sell this game to as many people as possible. I tried to shill this game to as many people as possible because I cared. Out of those 500,000 people, the people who came into Fellowship went in, played it, got called racial slurs by their tank and or their DPS, and left. There was no penalty for the people doing that. There was no penalty for the people leaving dungeons. We are in Season 2. There is still no penalty for either of those things. Unless you're in a team that you chose to be in with your own teammates. One of my teammates called me a cunt and got a 7-day chat mute in my team! Yeah, League of Legends is looking really fucking good right about now. So, it gets better. I tried to go for 9 out of 9 Eternal, Season 1, which was to go through and play every single character because I loved this game. I made it to 8 out of 9. The final character I didn't finish was Mako. Did I finish it because skill issue? Because I'm bad? Because I couldn't make it? No. I couldn't finish it because we ran out of players. By the end of the season, there was 300 players left because of this game's incompetence at player retention. Because, to start this off, Fellowship decided to announce its reset after 1 month of gameplay. So every single person who had been grinding and degenning for 1 month basically got told that everything they were going to do was going to be reset and be completely pointless. The community manager leaked this reset, and my tinfoil hat theory is he did it on purpose to ruin everything. Because after he leaked it, they went from 50,000 players to 10,000 players, after which they then lost their publisher at the end of the month and switched to a different one. My tinfoil hat theory is my guy tanked the entire thing on purpose, because fuck everything, I guess. I don't know. I don't care. It's not my problem to care. It's someone else's now. So, I couldn't finish 9 out of 9 because I didn't have enough players to play the fucking game, because they decided to nuke it. They then released a Christmas event. No, I'm ahead of myself. Sorry, it gets worse. I'm ahead of myself. They then... Sorry, I'm about to be they, them. I gotta be inclusive, right, boys? Oh, I'm feeling the crash out. It's gonna be good. I need this. My soul needs this. Then, after that, after our boy decides to nuke his entire game that he has spent the entire time building up, they then say that they're going to reset at a different time. They try to damage control. And instead of the reset being in December for Christmas, it then becomes December, February, December, January, and then Q1. They moved the reset window 3 times in an ARPG that is supposed to have resets. I talked about the reset. Every single casual player got pissed off and left. This is the first time my main channel covered ARPGs for as long as I could. This is the first time I've seen an ARPG where I cover a reset and the outcome is negativity instead of hype. So that was special in and of itself. So then they release a Christmas event. The Christmas event is artificially inflated via the number of items you need to be able to get the skins and currency. Okay? It gets even better. So now, the Christmas event that people are supposed to come back for is a grind. But what's even better is the Eternal queue that currently exists did not exist when the game first came out. So what would happen is you would make it to the end of Paragon, and instead of the mercenary system that says go back, do it again, and help people, you get to Eternal, but you don't have this find party button. So you have to go to the outside source, which is the Discord of the official Discord, which is why I wound up having to make my own, and look there instead. To which those people are then asking for unplayable requirements of, max gear required to be able to play the lowest tiers. It's people, of course, they're gonna fucking, it's gonna get corrupted eventually, of course. And so, then Eternal Queue comes out. Before the Christmas event, Eternal Queue brings back a couple thousand. Christmas event comes out. Christmas event fucks everything as well because the numbers are bad, and eventually it tapers off, falls off, ends. We get to Season 2. We just launch Season 2. Now, Season 2 should have been in December. Had things gone correctly, Season 2 should have been in December. Instead, we launch our Season 2 February 19th. The same day Karazhan unlocks in the Burning Crusade. The same day that the most known about raid, aside from Illidan, unlocks in the Burning Crusade. In the same month that TBC launched, because it was on the 6th. And then on March 2nd, World of Warcraft's new expansion, Midnight, is going to launch. Oh, it gets better, princess. Keep chugging along. World of Warcraft Midnight has a content creator edition that will cost you a nice fucking pretty penny. And what that gives you access to is early access. This is going to make it so that you can play 3 days early. Now, the 2nd of March, and 3 days early because it's February and it's a 28-day month, means that that early access lands on March 26th. March 26th is a Thursday. Thursday is Fellowship's competitive trim reset day. Okay? We're all gonna combine together into this witch's pot of dumbfuckery. Trust me, it gets better. So, we have nuked everything from the top rope. The reset comes out. The 2 new characters are so powerful and overtuned. The rest of the roster is inferior to the point of in-playability. I loved this game once. Fuck. In-playability. And as a result, we get 1/5 of the player base of early access launch, which was to be expected, who are then going to go and play World of Warcraft Midnight. That is to be expected. That is exactly how it goes, because this game appeals to World of Warcraft players. It is World of Warcraft style gameplay. And as a result, those people are going to go play World of Warcraft. Same as all of the content creators who World of Warcraft is their primary income source. All of those people cannot stay with Fellowship, no matter how much they like it, no matter how much they love it, because of where they put the reset. They cannot financially make the decision to play a small indie game that they love because they will not be able to pay rent and put food on the table because of the dumb fuckery of the choice to put this on February 19th. You have to think about the human component to this. As a result, hundreds of thousands of views and eyes are gone as a result of just putting it on the 19th. Because on Trim Day is early access day. So when this week ends, they're gone. Now, the piece de resistance. The piece de resistance, if you will. I'm French. My dad would kill me if he heard me say that. Is what they just decided to do. So, if we come over here, we have our leaderboard, right? I, as you can see on the screen, was top 200 Aeona, the current character that I'm playing, on day 1. Now, if you'll see, as I scroll through this board, I want you to see what the healer that is played is. Do you see another healer of any other icon? No. No, you do not. Because she is that powerful because of her aura of deferred fate. This makes it so that you get Brewmaster Stagger on a healer. Meaning that Fellowship... I did this in the wrong order. That Fellowship, the game that killed 49 million people. Because in Season 1, going from Contender to Adept, you got hit with so many mechanical spikes that the average casual players that this game was supposedly marketed to in the initial conception phase died 49 million times, and that is just when they released the statistics. So by the end of the season, it may have been closer to 100 million casual deaths. Because the spike going from Contender to Adept difficulty was so high for the average player who has never played a World of Warcraft style game before, they just couldn't do it. So, as a result, we get to Season 2, and they decide to make a character who's supposed to slow the game down. That's what this aura is supposed to do. It's supposed to slow the game down. Instead, it makes you invulnerable. Because the casual players were getting stuck here in Adept. The hardcore players were making it to Eternal and were dying for a singular misstep. Now, I've played ARPGs. I've played Path of Exile. I know that these motherfuckers love to just put undodgeable, unstoppable one-shots right up your asshole and say, fuck you for playing our game. I know how this works, okay? I know how this functions. When I tell you in higher tiers of Fellowship, if you blink, you die. To the point that Fellowship cannot be a game that you come back to. If you are rusty, if you are playing in Eternal and you are rusty, if you make a singular misstep, you will grief your entire team. You make a half-inch misstep on Sailor's Abyss, you will get one shot 100 to 0. Unless you have Aeona in your team, which is this new healer. Because this aura of deferred fate will stagger the damage that is incoming. Now, you can stagger up to 300% of your health bar. Know how I know that? I tried. I let my DPS die. For theory, you can take 2 Heartstoppers, which is a instant kill. You can take 2 stacks of Heartstopper and live. Doesn't really stop fucking hearts then, does it? Meaning, if you're playing any of the other healers, you're griefing. I'll just let that one hang for a second. So, now, we now incentivize toxicity because we want to kick people who are playing the other healers because of the power level of this aura. Okay? The crock of fucking shit is getting bigger. Because of this aura, this character is so good, she is going to be in permanent dev jail. She is so good because of this thing that Xavian, the new tank, who has so much healing, I can out-heal some of my healer players, that makes it now pointless to play Mako, the one who had self-healing, because she was the self-healing one, she was the damage reduction one. She is very difficult because she is like playing Invoker. You need to do certain abilities into certain abilities into certain abilities. Xavian, you can roll your face on your keyboard and heal more. Xavian is so good that if Aeona simply walks behind him, he is immortal. She does not have to press a spell. And Xavian can self-heal so much that because her passive exists, he can go into 200% death. Combine this now with his shield and a Sorrel's Aegis, and you can have 300% effectiveness. The crock of shit's not done yet. So, all of this comes together to culminate into the most tone-deaf piece of shit I have ever seen out of a development team. Now keep in mind, for all of you sitting there watching this far going, God, this guy yells a lot. I'm doing this because I care. I don't anymore. I did care. Once. There's only so much shit a man can take. And this is the last fucking straw. Because this character, her design is that she is supposed to deal damage to heal things. He does this because he has me locked up in the basement. Amen, Bertus. Amen. Oh, fuck, I needed the comedic relief. I've 20 minutes of crash out. Oh my god. I gave a fuck once. And giving a fuck about Fellowship It's like watching a toddler stick a fork in a light socket. It's like watching him grab a frying pan, and you start to think, oh, he's gonna learn how to cook, and then he smacks himself in the fucking face with it repeatedly until he gets a hole in his head. So, this character is the DPS healer with this aura that is already good enough that you can just bring her for the aura alone. Now, they made a change to the endgame system. Yes, this is a whole story, by the way. This is chronological order. They made a change to the endgame system, that now it requires 2 eternal shards at each difficulty to unlock the next difficulty. Before, you used to be able to just do 1 small dungeon, and then you would progress the next tier. So in our case, you do the Sailors, and you get tier 2. Then you do the Silken, you get tier 3. And this was too fast and too fun, I guess. So instead, now doing one of the small dungeons gives you 1 shard, and doing capstones gives you 2. But it's bugged, so doing the capstone sometimes will give you 2, but won't unlock the next tier, so you still have to do the small one anyways, because fuck you. So, this now also incentivizes toxicity. Because if you have 1 eternal shard, and you queue into a team, you want to do one of the small ones. You don't want to do one of the big ones. You're going to waste your time. Now, because of this system, before, when you could just do the small ones, you could get with a team that is not at the amount that you are at, and you can quickly boost them up by doing the fastest dungeons that are possible to be able to get to a point where everyone's progressing and everybody's happy. This is what I was doing, trying to be as good of a player as I could be, trying to work with my community and work with the community at large to just better everybody. Now, instead, it is more beneficial to queue and leave queue until you get what you want. Because I was trying to get to 14 in my case here. So, to do so, what I instead did was I joined a bunch of teams, and some of them were in 13. We did the capstone, we finished it, we unlocked the next tier, somebody left. Now, as a result, we have to go and find somebody else. We find them, they are 13 highest. Meaning, now we have to either do the ransack again, which is another 20 minutes of my life, to unlock the 14 to have them leave again, or do 2 of the really faster, sort of faster dungeons, which is now not faster because you have to do 2 of them, which equates to 24 minutes or 24 minutes, to then go in to get my 14. So now, it is mathematically more efficient to be a piece of shit. It is now mathematically more time efficient to leave my team and sit here for half an hour, leaving any team that does not say 14 is playable, than to go and boost a team through to 14. It is mathematically more time efficient to sit in a half an hour queue than it is to do 24 minutes of gameplay for both of these, or 24 minutes of gameplay for this. Remember how I said it incentivizes toxicity? Today is the first day I broke. I am the sort of person who will join my team, play whatever we can play, and push up based on how far people are willing to go. Today I snapped. And as a result, I was rewarded. I became a piece of shit. I left every single team that wasn't my immediate pushing team. And what was I rewarded with? A legendary divine aether for my trouble. I sat in queue, dodged every single team that was not my prog team, or that was not the prog dungeon I needed. I cleared the prog dungeon I needed, I unlocked the next tier, and got a legendary for my time. We don't promote toxicity, not in the slightest. So now, to cap it off, after all of this rage bait, after all of this crash out, I did all of this to push because I care about the leaderboard. You'll see over here, top 150 or top 200, right? I am top 869 of this character at the moment. Let me hide Guild Wars 2 and my chat cover. I am currently top 1000 Aeona at the moment. Alright? For the people who are going to be in the comments like, you don't know what you're talking about. Fucking, I'm literally above you. Calm down. So now, reason I bring this up is from a competitive standpoint, if you thought it was bad the past 25 minutes, if you thought it was bad the past 25 minutes of me yelling, buckle the fuck up. The two things to do in Fellowship are queue dungeons and look at the leaderboard. That's fucking it, champ. So what if we made the dungeons irrelevant because both of the characters we release are so overtuned, and then make the leaderboard irrelevant? Because we're just that dumb. So, allow me to explain. Every single one of these people has been playing Aeona from day one. All of the top teams, as I showed you before, all the way up to page God knows what in here, are running an Aeona, right? They have all cleared whatever they have cleared. Aeona is a healer who heals people by doing damage. Okay? It is currently 5:12 p.m. on February 23rd. At noon, they released healer hotfix patch notes. You ready to crash out with me, kiddo? Let's have a read, shall we? Damage done by Aeona no longer heals all players. Instead, each damage instance will heal one player, preferring the lowest health ally. Ahem. It gets better, princess. Hold the phone, would you? Our intention was for Aeona to struggle with her mana management as her downside. This character has infinite mana. Now, how you can be so retarded that you decide to make a healer who's based around being I do not know what drugs you are smoking, but can you give me your dealer's number? Because God, they have to be good. Her downside is that she is supposed to be This is like Jonathan Rogers thinking he's making Dark Souls. Damage done by Aeona no longer heals all players. Instead, each damage instance will heal one player. Now, this is a 75% healing throughput nerf. Disregarding the fact it is gutting what she is intended to do. Explain is out of mana. She is intended to be out of mana. A healer who is supposed to solve your problems and be your insurance policy is supposed to be out of mana. Just saying that, I'm losing brain cells. Just saying that, I'm losing brain cells. Oh my god, dude. I stopped smoking to play Fellowship to, like, actually push the board. I'm gonna relapse. I'm gonna fucking relapse, dude. Holy shit. 75% throughput nerf. Now, oh, but Wolf, you just said they're OP, they're OP, they're OP, they need to be nerfed at some point, right? Yes, 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 agreed, agreed, I'm with you, King. Let's take this bitch's legs out from under her, sure. But let's take out the thing that is the problem. The aura that allows you to survive every single one-shot, meaning that any other healer you play with, no matter the mathematical increases, will not be able to survive the one-shots that the stagger aura will allow you to. She will permanently be better than any healer you ever add, provided the game is based around one-shots. They then took the entire game and removed all of the one-shots up to Paragon. They took all of the mechanics out of the game up until Paragon. You get your timer back in Paragon, and when you get to Eternal 1, all of the one-shots come back. Every single one. Not a slow progressive increase that, oh, at Eternal 10 we give you a one-shot. You gotta really kick it, boys. Eternal 1 is now the Adept spike. They didn't fix the problem. They just moved it farther in so that casuals don't crash out before they make it to endgame. It's okay. There's no casuals left. They all quit. So the only people left are the hardcore players who came back to push the leaderboard. Which, the leaderboard integrity now doesn't exist. Because at the moment of recording this, this has not been pushed yet. So, hopefully, I look like I'm crashing out for no reason. Hopefully, they revert this shit. Hopefully, the fucking Ratatouille rat dealing with this dumb fuck's head decides that we should dial it back. Because otherwise, because of this, a 75% throughput nerf in the middle, it is a Monday. The reset is on Thursday. Allow me to explain this in a way that makes very simple sense. If you pushed today, what you achieve today will not be achievable tomorrow. So, 75% healing throughput nerf. 2. Let me click the board, please. And we're lagging because we have a fifth of the players and we don't have servers to sustain the infrastructure. A 75% healing throughput nerf to 20,000 players. And we think they're just gonna stay? We think they're just gonna not go play Midnight? We think they're just gonna not quit? We're gonna cut the legs out from 20,000 players. And we have the audacity, the fucking audacity, to think it's going to be okay. But it gets even better. It gets even better. It gets even better. Because now, we put the fucking final bit of salt in the witch's crock of shit. Because the dungeons they have cleared, the dungeons the top teams have cleared today may not be clearable tomorrow. Because they will be mathematically 75% throughput behind on where they were today. As a result, this compromises the integrity of the leaderboard because anybody who pushes after this patch will be healing 75% less than the people who have already pushed. Meaning, their leaderboard spots are grandfathered and uncontestable during the trim week. That most people are going to quit at the end of the week, so this is the only week people give a shit about this game. And in the middle of it, we're going to remove the integrity of the leaderboard in its entirety by grandfathering the people at the top, because you will not mathematically have the numbers to compete with them if you push late. Abuse early, abuse often, get your leaderboard spot grandfathered. That is the pretense we have set. Among the previous toxicity amplifiers I talked about and didn't showcase, but you've all experienced, I am at the point, after 500 hours of fellowship, after making a community called the Fellow Shillers, after showing this game to over 500,000 people in an attempt to showcase the thing that I loved so goddamn dearly, I cannot defend it anymore. And even if they revert this, even if they go against it, the damage is done. The pretense is set. They have shown now that they don't care about their leaderboard. They don't care about the only thing the actual players who are currently playing care about. Because they are willing to grandfather the people at the top and destroy the integrity in the middle of the only week that matters. After 500 hours, Fellowship deserves everything it gets. I'll see you in midnight.